A woman will never approach you and say, "Hey, I chose you, so kiss me before I change my mind." That's not how we work. But instead, we do the following, and that's exactly what men usually forget completely. We speak with our hands, and I don't mean sign language. I mean a secret physical language that women have always used to convey unexpected messages. I belong to you, make your move. If you ignore these signals, she won't repeat them. She'll simply walk away and give them to someone who will pay attention to her. This will likely frustrate you. A study published in the journal Nonverbal Behavior found that women send out an average of 5 signals of affection before a man even notices the first one. 5. That means if you think she might be interested, she's already been clearly signaling it to you with her body language for the last 20 minutes. And the strongest signals come from her hands. Not from her eyes, not from her smile, from her hands. Because hands are the body part most people forget to control. Your face can bring a smile, your voice can convey enthusiasm, but her hands speak volumes every time. And honestly, as a woman, it drives me crazy how many men completely ignore these signals. She's practically sending you a red light on a golden plate, and you're left wondering if she's just being friendly. No, darling. Kindness speaks a completely different language. What I'm about to explain to you will change your perspective on every interaction with a woman from now on. And once you understand that, there's no stopping it. You'll notice these signs everywhere, in cafes, at work, on dates, and the pressure mounts, because now you know exactly when she's chosen you. The only question then is whether you're brave enough to act on it. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly which hand gestures mean "I'm interested," which mean "kiss me now," and which mean "you've already kissed me." Stay tuned, because the last point is the most important. It determines whether someone gets the girl or goes home confused. The involuntary touching of hair. Let's start with something almost every woman does without even realizing it. When a woman is attracted to you, her hands wander to your hair. But here's the point no one talks about. It's not just about a fleeting touch of the hair. There's a specific kind of touch that signals genuine attraction. She stands up, touches her hair at the side of her face, and then slowly lets her hand slide down to her hair or lap. This downward movement is crucial. A woman who is merely playing with her hair will briefly hold it, adjust it, and move on. A woman who is attracted to you will move her hand. She will speed up the movement. Subconsciously, she is drawing your attention to her hair, which is among the most sensitive parts of the human body. In psychology, contact with hair is considered a sign of basic trust. It signals to the subconscious that she feels safe with you and is open towards you. Dr. Monica Moore of Webster University spent over 20,000 hours observing women in social situations and documented that touching the hair, combined with showing the hair, was one of the 3 most reliable indicators of female attractiveness. 2,000 hours of observing women flirting. That's dedication to science. So if she's sitting next to you and her hand keeps wandering through her hair and down to her lap, that's not nervousness. That's an invitation. And if you don't react to that, but just keep talking about your fantasy football league, she'll assume you're not interested and emotionally break off the conversation. The objectified hug. It's weird, and most guys have no idea what's going on. When a woman slowly runs her fingers over an object, the stem of a wine bottle, the rim of a cup, the corner of a plate, she is doing something. Psychologists call object displacement. She wants to touch you, but the social situation doesn't yet allow it. So she shifts this need with her hands to the nearest object. Think about it for a moment. Your body is so tense that it needs to touch something just to release that tension. A research team at the University of Manchester found that tactile reversal movements increase by more than 60% when a person is in the presence of an attractive person. 60%. Her fingers tracing circles on the rim of a teacup are not anger. It is merely a desire. And now comes the joke. Many men see this and think, wow, she really likes that coffee cup. No, she's not interested in the cup at all. She likes you. The cup is just a symbol, because it can't possibly reach the table and touch your arm within the first 15 minutes of a date. Sure, it could, but that leads us to the next sign, the first touch of your arm. If a woman touches your arm during a conversation, she has crossed an important boundary. Physical touch is the most conscious signal available to women, because it forces them to suppress their need for personal distance. We don't just touch people we're not attracted to. When she places her hand on your arm while laughing, it's no accident. If she gently touches your arm to emphasize something, It's more than just communication. She's feeling her way. She's testing your reaction to her touch. Do you tune out, pull away, reciprocate? A study in the Bulletin of Personality and Social Psychology showed that light touches during a conversation increase perceived activity by about 40% in both directions. This means that when she touches you, she's not only signaling that she finds you attractive, but she also appears more attractive to you herself at that moment. Women know this instinctively. We've known this for centuries. This gentle touch on the arm is one of the most thoughtful and effective tactics in women's football. And yes, I said thoughtful. We know exactly what we're doing. If she touches your arm once, she's interested. If she touches it twice, she's very interested. If she knocks 3 times and you still don't do anything, she'll question your pulse and the flashing of your palm. This is something that goes completely unnoticed. And frankly, it's perhaps the most telling signal of all. When a woman shows her open palms during a conversation, whether because she is pregnant, places her hands on the table with palms facing you, or hands you something with a deliberate gesture of open palms, she unconsciously conveys openness and trust. Closed palms, open arms, hands hidden under the table. All these are signals of stored energy. Open palms facing you mean, I have nothing to hide. I am completely there for you right now. Evolutionary psychologists trace this back to early human behavior, where open palms signaled the absence of weapons and the presence of trust. So when she sits across from you and speaks with lively gestures of open palms, she is not just expressing herself, but literally opening herself up to you. And that's precisely what makes it so effective. Many women do this completely unconsciously. She doesn't think, I'm opening my hands to him. Her body does it automatically because her attraction to you has triggered a trust response. She can't open her hands for yours. Now we're entering territory where she shares it with you practically everywhere. If a woman finds a reason to touch your hand, whether it's to compare hand sizes, playfully read your palm, or place her fingers on yours while you give her something, she's made her choice. Hand-to-hand contact is one of the most intimate, non-romantic forms of touch. The hands have one of the highest concentrations of nerve endings in the entire body. When your fingers open, both of your brains release a small surge of oxytocin, the bonding hormone. She feels it, you feel it, and she knows you feel it. So many men seize this opportunity. She creates that electrifying point of contact, that tiny point between her body and his, and instead of holding on to the moment, instead of letting her fingers linger on his for another second, he pulls his hand back as if he touched a hot stove, and even then the mirror will break. If it touches your hand, stay there. Don't mess around. Don't rush things. Give the connection space. If you can hold on to this moment with calm confidence, she will know that you are someone who isn't afraid of closeness and connection. And it's precisely this self-confidence that allows her to say to herself, yes, now is the moment. The showing of her arms, I saved this almost, until the end because it's the most subtle and at the same time most meaningful sign on this whole list. The inner arm is one of the most sensitive parts of the body. The skin is thin, the veins are prominent, and historically, it has been a site of extreme vulnerability. When a woman exposes her inner arm to you by placing her arms outstretched on a table, positioning them so they disappear from your view, or by resting her pelvis on your hand and turning her arms towards you, she is sending a signal of submission and trust. This has its roots directly in evolutionary biology. Showing vulnerable body parts is an unconscious signal. I trust you so much that I'm showing you my unprotected sides. Dr. David Given, director of the Center for Nonverbal Studies, has written extensively about how showing one's arms is linked to romantic interest. It's one of those signals that's almost impossible to fake because it's so deeply ingrained and instinctive. So, if you're out with her and notice that she constantly opens her arms to you, openly and unguarded, understand that she's giving you something precious. She trusts you. She's showing you that she feels safe enough around you to confide in you completely. And if you recognize this signal and don't react, if you don't turn away, don't withdraw your hand, don't kiss him, then you are essentially denying that trust. And a woman who feels her trust has been betrayed will never give it again. Not to you. Now comes the crucial point, and this is probably the most important thing you will hear today. These signals have a limited lifespan on the screen. A woman doesn't constantly send out signals. She approaches with one signal, then with another, perhaps with a third. And if she receives no response, no reaction, no escalation, no confirmation, she withdraws each of these signals, as if balancing on a fishing line, and once they were gone, they were gone. I've experienced this hundreds of times. A woman makes her presence known with subtle but unmistakable signals. And the man just stands there, clueless or scared, and finally she shuts down. Her hands fall back to her sides. She steps back, looks at her phone, and the man is still sitting there 10 minutes later, wondering why the mood changed. The mood changed because she gave you the key to the test and you still haven't filled your pockets. The window is real. Time starts ticking as soon as it sends its first signal. Respond calmly, confidently, and with an equal touch, and the window will open. If you hesitate too long, it will close. Not with a bang, but with a soft click. And that soft click is the worst sound in the world, because you'll only hear it when it's too late. So now you know. The gentle touch of her hair at the nape of her neck. Fingers grasping objects, an arm touching open palms, a finger drying itself on your hand, bare arms. Each of these things is a woman telling you wordlessly, I have chosen you. Now all you have to do is choose your response, and you don't do that with words, but with actions. A reciprocated touch, a hug that says, I heard every signal you sent and I'm here now. That's what I need from you, and that's not an unimportant question. Think about the last time you were with a woman and something felt right, but you weren't sure. Try to remember that moment. Did she do any of the things I just described? I suspect so, and I suspect you hesitated. Use your insights today and make a decision. The next time you notice these signs, act. That's the deal. You watched the video, gained the knowledge, and now the only acceptable payment is that you apply it. Don't miss this opportunity. This is the true subscription. Not for this channel, but for yourself. For the version of you that doesn't remain unmoved in crucial moments. And speaking of signs, you can't ignore them. Everything I just told you about hands is only part of the truth. Because there's something far more revealing than what a woman does with her hands. That's exactly what she lets you do with yours.